part.
Hey, Andrew, how are you doing?
I'm doing so great, Dusty. It's been a while.
It has been quite some time since we released a internet video together.
Yeah, how was prison?
It was great. You know,
Learn anything?
I learned how to steam bend wood.
Looks like you got bent. What's all that scrap wood for?
That's my plywood cart that I made in my previous video. That's just keeping track of all my scrap wood. And sometimes you need scrap wood, so you can do stuff like this.
And what are you doing?
We're gonna steam bend some wood today. We're gonna make wood into kind of wood noodles.
Wait, steam bend. Why are you doing that?
Because I wanted to.
What problem does it solve?
It allows me to make wood into more curves, effectively. So in kind of the last videos when we were stretching wood out, this allows me to do it, and instead of it being held in shape, because there are spacers, it'll hold its own shape over time because it's been physically changed it to this new shape.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So why did you make those into discs? Oh, just to put on the... Okay, look at that answer.
The discs fit on top of the pot to give it... it's not an airtight seal. When you're making something that uses steam, you don't want it to self-pressurize and turn into, effectively, a very small bomb.
So what, is you just making a box here?
Yep, just making a box. Part of the box fits on my pot that I use to boil shrimp for shrimp boils or make beer with, which I'm terrible at.
Wait, George, are you from the South?
Yes, I'm from the South.
It's like shrimp boil. Like, that's a thing?
You're right. Low country boil. I'm sorry. Does that settle the issue?
Hey, whatever sits at your dinner table, man.
Whatever boils your shrimp.
Whatever boils your shrimp. So, did you experiment with different amounts of water?
I did, and I did a lot of research on it, and actually, it seems to be the preferred method for doing a steam bend in this, and not using a steam generator like a wallpaper steamer or a purpose-built steam generator. You want less than 2 inches of water in your pot because the steam is slightly hotter.
Interesting.
Because
okay.
You're putting the same amount of energy into the system, but the system is less effective of absorbing that energy and producing it outward.
And so, is there like a measurement to how many cubic feet are in like your box that you're putting steam into? Or?
Yeah. It's about an hour of steam per inch of thickness.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and that's the crazy part. I did a little bit of research. I ran across that wonderful Christopher Schwartz quote that I started the video with, and then I decided to stop doing research and just run with it. And I think that steam bending is a little closer to an art than a craft. There's a lot of information out there, but to really try and stretch the limits of it is not necessarily A plus B equals C. It's a lot of, looking at the density of the grain, looking at the type of wood, and understanding the process at a much deeper level to get very good results. And I imagine that it'll take me a decade to really get that far, but this is day one. Every journey starts with the first step.
And I assume some woods do the bending better than others?
Yeah, absolutely. So in this, we're bending mostly white oak, which is considered a good bending wood. I tried some ash because I had it, and it was incredibly straight grained. And grain runout, which is kind of, if you look at the side of a board and you see a ring that runs off, then you measure, so you want less than 5 per inch. And that ash stick that I had almost 0 grain runout. It was one of the straightest grain pieces of woods that I've ever seen. So I thought it would work fairly well, but I did push it a little further than I probably should have.
Okay, and before you tried wood bending, did you give any thought to fire or water bending?
No. Earth bending, 100%.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I really identify with tough.
Yeah, I feel you.
I'm blind. I wear glasses. So, yeah, I really identified with tough. But, so, I mean, this is such a low-rent wood bending setup. The latch is 2 screws drilled into 2 different faces with a piece of coat hanger.
Sure.
And you saw me install those coat hangers earlier. Those are actually a wire rack that holds the wood up so the steam can get all the way around it.
Interesting. Yeah, good choice.
Yeah. It was actually kind of a bad choice because as I've used it more and more, the plastic coating, what I thought was a plastic coating, which is actually just kind of like a sprayed on paint on the white clothes hangers you get from the dry cleaner,
Yes.
has worn off, and I'm now starting to get rust stains on the wood that I then have to sand out.
Sounds rustic.
Very shabby chic, I agree. But I mean, I literally just pushed this like maybe half an inch too far, and you can see the difference in separation I'm getting. Like, look at that. That's like I'm really pushing it really
Yes.
hard. And that's what all this is. It's just an experiment to see how far I can push something because I don't know. There's no book that teaches you how to do this. There's no, intro to woodworking. Like, this is how far you can force a steam form out of.
Are you gonna write a book?
No.
Okay.
And a really interesting part is what's happening is because those stop cuts have maybe 3 or 4 inches on the bottom of solid wood, you're effectively levering those two long movement arms against the long grain of the wood, which is how it wants to split anywhere. So it's a really delicate dance to get a good spread and not split the wood in two, because that's its natural predisposition. Like, that's how you rive a piece of wood, is you take a wedge and you run it in with the long grain, and you run it down, and the wood will naturally split apart into a plank. I mean, that's how we milled lumber prior to the Industrial Revolution. That's how we started the breakdown process of roughing lumber.
Yeah, I'm noticing how you like sneak in the wood the skinny way and then like fold it up.
Yeah, and try and like work it out, because
Yeah.
I don't want to put too much stress on it too fast. And that's another thing, is learning how much of for lack of a better term, of a shank I need to leave that's uncut.
That looks awesome.
I appreciate it. I had a good time with these tables. These are some finished results of what I've managed to do with this steam bending.